Hello and welcome to session 3 of our 8-part Hearts of Wulin game. If you followed this, you may have noticed a little gap here, which was intended to just be a gap for the holidays, but I got sick. So we had to skip a session. We will find a time to remake that up at some point. We will get that in here. We take up with our characters in the aftermath of several battles at the end of last session. And we'll come back to that. What we're going to do is I want to talk a little bit about our structural stuff, just a reminder. Then we're going to check in on entanglements, on advances, and then we'll reposition where our characters are at this point. We have the X card as our standard safety tool that's on the table, which can be done in chat, which can be done visually or can be done verbally for anything, including tone. Those kinds of issues as well. And then our lines and veils are on the table for us tonight. We only have 2 hard lines right now at this moment, and that is sexual assault and torture. And then our veils, meaning fade to black, are graphic gore, harm to animals, and any kind of sexual content, Buffy style, we will fade to black on. Again, remember that tab is in there, and you should feel free to add to that as is necessary. So let me check in on entanglements and where everybody is experience point wise. I'm going to work my way across the sheet. I would normally start with Jim. We're hoping that Jim will be joining us after a bit. But let's start with Yingling. What of the Gloaming Orchestra? Did you get an advance?
Oh yeah, I have an advance.
Ooh, have you decided?
I do. 8 out of 8. I am thrilled. I'm still.
You got that from letting that villain go.
I mean, did I let her go, or did I make her think she got away?
Fair enough.
I mean, I let her go, but it's cooler if I say the other thing.
Absolutely. So, what advance are you taking? Or are you still thinking about it?
I'm thinking about either it takes a thief from my Bravo, or possibly heads for sale. I'm leaning between those two. I'd like to stay in my lane, fully explore.
Okay. And yeah, don't feel like you have to decide right now. You can choose on the fly as we go along. I do want to mention, so you have 2 bonds that you've expended down. You've got them listed as 0 right now. Again, in this game, bonds are burnt to give yourself a +1 on a roll afterwards. Burning them doesn't destroy the relationship. All it is it's using up the energy that you have from that connection. You can rebuild those bonds. The comfort and support move is the one that you can use to rebuild those, to reestablish those, or establish those with new people. Also, you have, I believe, just 1 element marked right now. The way outside of combat that you can, if you really need to clear an element, like you feel, this would be especially true if we had, 3 or something like that many elements marked, is you can narrate a scene of how you are recovering yourself from that, and then we just clear that. So out of combat, there is a narrative convention for recovering. Let's look at your entanglements. At the end of last time, you mentioned particularly that we wanted to get your first entanglement on the table, and we're going to try and do that. That is your brother, and we'll get him present tonight, and we'll find out about that connection to that enemy clan there. Are you still good with that entanglement?
I am. I'm quite interested in seeing Big Brother.
Okay. Is he your older brother?
He is now, because I just said that. So
okay, yes. Fair enough.
That's how quickly things change.
Absolutely. Your older brother implies a whole set of filial relationships and devotions.
Does.
So, let me ask you this. My assumption had been that your brother is also a member of the Gloaming Orchestra. Is that true, or okay? All right.
I think it is. I think maybe I followed him in. I approach it differently.
Yeah. What is his weapon/instrument of choice?
Ooh. So mine, of course, are the bells, of which I'm missing one.
Mhm.
I think his, um, for some reason, I'm seeing like, I'm not sure what it's called, but like basically like metal circles, not rings, but like,
Symbols.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Sure, symbols.
absolutely. Like has a set of those, probably some of the hand clapper ones, but also the bigger ones. And
Hmm.
certainly we've seen variations on that in some of the Shaw Brothers films as weapons used, especially if they have razor sharp edges. Spin them. Okay.
Beautiful.
Um, and all right. And then your other one is Lady Twilight Summer and I love each other, but that will change if they learn my history with the noble woman Ai Lee of the diligent Azure bureaucracy. Are you still happy with that one?
I'm happy with it, although I think maybe it's a little presumptuous from Jingling's side to say that they love each other. I think Lady Twilight Summer is more like she's aware of his existence, but he's pretty convinced that she's in love with him. So,
Okay. Especially since every time you've been around, something has gotten in the way every time. So there must be, I mean, it's certainly not your assistant, but that has gotten in the way, but just circumstances, right?
of course not. She
Right.
would never, she is far too respectful to get in my way.
Absolutely. And your assistant is Miss Fang, right?
That's right.
Okay. Let us come then to Master Zhang of the Diligent Bee Shrine. This is on a location within a day outside of the city that you have set up. Did you get in advance? You took the
Yes,
Legend of the Mountain.
I did get an advance. I took Legend of the Mountain, which allows me to defend something or someone.
And that is a sort of an absolute defense. If that is a way against overwhelming forces, that move allows you to defend in the face of desperate odds there. So let's look at your entanglements. We had talked about that first one that you were modifying, sort of how you wanted to read that. Have you decided about how you wanted to redo that?
Right. I have an idea for a new romantic entanglement, but I'll have to introduce a new NPC or find a suitable NPC first. So
Okay,
not right away. I'm going
absolutely.
to leave that in place for now.
Okay.
And the non-romantic entanglement is it's good, but it involves Jim's character who is not here. So I would right now it reads my friend Chunji suspects my son Pei of evil. I would say that if it's okay with you, that's just modify it slightly so that any if my son Pei's situation arises in a way that would likely produce inner conflict, we'll just roll with that for that session.
Okay.
That's
All
that.
right. All right. And if we want to modify that, we can certainly
Right.
stop and do that
Right.
if you think another attachment or one you develop just in the course of play might be appropriate.
Yeah.
And you just have your Earth marked, so that's not too bad. That brings us to Lady Twilight Summer, who suffered several reversals last time. The passing of her mother. Father is still missing.
Aunt.
Aunt, the aunt and uncle. Uncle Ochun Bao still missing, and your aunt murdered.
Xunhua. Yeah.
Yeah.
She is.
And some worry that your organization may have had some knowledge, involvement. You're uncertain about that. And then, of course, it was a strange battle with this magistrate. And you decided to take the Trail of the Everlasting Hero, a good and appropriate and useful one right now. Let's look at your entanglements. Of course, we have the first one. The Jun is hot as fuck, but Miss Fang doesn't like me at all. Are you still happy with that one?
Yeah, I think I'd like to see that more on screen this time, but
Absolutely.
I think that can be easily arranged.
We can very early on. I think we need to have you and Yingling cross paths here.
Oh yeah,
Since
no,
you both-
I'm planning to hire him. Are you kidding me?
Okay. And then, are you still happy with the long lost brother entanglement?
Yeah, that actually seemed to develop nicely last time. So
Okay.
looking forward to see Shizia a little bit more.
And you have two of your elements marked,
Yep.
including your fire. Now, mind you, you as you pointed out, you're able to work around that, but it still suggests that you have suffered
Yeah.
in the previous
Yeah,
battle.
it's not optimal to have fire marked for sure. So
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the two of you. I want to maybe get a sense, and then let's find a place where we can potentially have you meet. I'm going to allow Lady Twilight Summer, because of her disguise and so on, to choose how she appears when this crossing of paths happens, and then we'll come to Master Zhang there at Empty Falcon's household. So, Lady Twilight Summer, you have fled away from this battle. It is still night, and you've been wounded, and more, I think, a sense of uncertainty than physical damage. Would you say?
yeah, I think so. We didn't really get into a huge fight. We were mostly just blocking each other's blows in a way that was curious. Are we going to pick up exactly where we left off, or is some time going to pass?
What would you like? Would you like us to
Well,
hours, or
I mean,
minutes?
we're a household that's got to go into mourning, and I am now officially the lady of the house.
That you are. Shall we cut forward to the next
Yeah,
morning?
because I think what I do is I send a servant to an inn I have only heard about, mind you. I've never actually been there, but definitely looking for Jun to come to our house while we are still able to, because we're not in deep mourning yet, but we're going to be.
Absolutely.
And apparently little following Bat is doing his own thing. Maybe he's praying with the ancestors. I don't know.
The household is still in disarray. Your father is still missing. Bat is still out on the city, apparently searching for him. Exactly what has gone on is uncertain, and they do turn to you. Even the people that would have regarded you perhaps as not as much of the family, since you're just adopted, but you're the authority they have to turn to, and when you tell them to do something, they do it. And
Oh yeah. No, and I'm giving a lot of orders this morning. We have a lot to do. Okay.
what is the key obligation that you mean to fulfill? What is your
The first
thing?
and most important thing is the defense of the family house. That's why I'm summoning Yungling Jun.
Okay. So I think we take up a shot of you in this inn. Maybe you still got a hold of
Oh
that.
no! If he'll come to the house, I summon him to the house.
Well, I'm starting with him there.
Oh,
at
okay,
the
yeah.
inn, receiving your request there. We'll get that shot of you with the cloth with the mask there in your hand, Miss Feng. Impassive of face. When a servant will arrive, you recognize the livery of that Lady Twilight Summer's household, and he looks around and he clearly sees the bells and comes over to you and will say, "You are Master Yingling?"
I am.
Lady Twilight Summer requests that you come with me to the household.
His disappointment at having lost a bell fades, and he looks over to Miss Feng, like, yeah. Of course, I'll be happy to meet with the lady. What may I ask what the reason for the summons might be?
Oh, we were not given. She immediately gave us orders. We follow.
Understood. Well, I'm sure she needs some musical entertainment, so I will endeavor. Though, as you can see, misplaced one of my bells.
He looks. You have a lot of bells, so he looks and then he merely nods. All right, and he will lead on. Miss Feng stands as you stand, and she falls in, and she will say, "Are we going to get involved in all of this?"
Aren't we already involved in all of this? What all of this do you mean?
I mean, these attacks on these households and such. Seems to me that this is a dangerous set of events. I merely wish to ascertain if you intend to follow this through.
Of course. Seems interesting. Righting
Absolutely.
wrongs. Right?
Certainly, and I'm certain that she will pay you in good coin.
Exactly. That's what I'm after. Coin.
So you arrive at the household. When Yingling arrives, where are you, Lady Twilight? Is he brought to you at a particular place, or do you come to meet? How does that look?
If my aunt had a separate room in the house that she used to receive people, that's where I am. I am ordering I'm ordering my white robes for the morning tradition, and probably someone's bringing me up some examples of the funeral invitations, and I'm waving them away. They're already hanging the white banner outside that indicates the house is in mourning. So,
with the proper piety due someone of the family, they have quickly turned Yingling to getting the household set. You can definitely see that there are messengers that have arrived and starting to bring condolences letters and so on. And so there's a little bit of chaos as you are brought in to this, not the main receiving area, but the side one, and it is beautifully appointed. Lady Twilight, how are you dressed when the camera finally falls on you from Yingling's point of view? What does he see?
I think I'm actually not really dressed to receive people. I've just been so busy. I have an old robe thrown around me, and it's not white, so I'm really kind of. I have to look up, and I'm busy, and then I look embarrassed because he arrived so quickly. And part of me is like, he arrived so quickly.
Yingling, she still makes it look good. And you're still in the outfit that she saw you in yesterday.
Yeah, that's not the best.
No. Miss Feng did not stop to correct you and tell you that perhaps when going to such a house, you should probably change or get cleaned up.
I came as soon as I was summoned. There, that will cover for it. I give a look over to Miss Fang, like,
Master Yingling, I'm so glad to see you again. And I just wave the servants away. Yeah, there'll be time for that.
They mercifully relieved will head off.
Start popping off all the little clappers for his bells as if he's going to be performing.
You'll excuse me if I am a little short-handed, as my brother is pursuing filial piety in his own way. As you know, our household was attacked last night, and we have suffered a great tragedy.
Yes, but yes, I'm so sorry.
Sun Hua was my only living relative. I cannot express the depth of my mourning, but I have no time to do that. This household's security arrangements have clearly been proven to be completely inadequate to the task. Assuming that my father is returned to us alive and whole, and she starts scribbling a note. I must remember to speak to the magistrates about that. This house is as good as defenseless. I request that you and perhaps any associates you may know who are of good character and martial virtue to see to the protection of the household. I would consider that a personal favor, though of course you will be remunerated at whatever your normal rate would be. What would that be?
That would be quite. That would be an excellent arrangement. I am more than happy to make sure that you and your household remain safe. Did I mention that I drove off an assassin last night? So I think that this is within my wheelhouse.
I would be very interested to hear more about that. If you have a moment to spare, I will find time. Please have some tea. I prepared it just now.
Oh, well, thank you.
I think definitely I'm handing you the teacup, gently and perhaps with some erotic subtext.
Yes,
There's that
there's like
moment when Miss Fang tries to kind of lean to move in to catch, but you are a little faster.
just a hair faster. And I take it, and I think there's a moment where the two fingers touch along the side of her hand, but he takes the cup and
I have more experience of mourning a mother than I wished. I'm pleased you were able to come.
I'm at your service.
I'm so trying to get comfort and support going here, but I'm not sure
Absolutely.
exactly how to do it.
Do you think you're trying to push him to do that for you? That seems reasonable.
Yeah, I think so. I'm
I think
trying to show vulnerability here.
He's trying. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
good.
good.
What do you want to
the
roll
tea.
with? What is the appropriate element for you as you attempt to be supportive?
Ooh, let us look. I think the water flows, the wisdom carries me. I am aware of her pain and suffering and attempt to relieve it by being polite and thoughtful. So I'll roll with water, which happens to be one of my best stats. And by one of my best stats, I mean my best stat.
Almost no chance you could fail.
Shut up. All right. The web page is taking a while to load. There we go. And that is a 10.
So here's the great thing about the 10 plus. On a hit, they can accept your words, they can clear an element, or they can gain a bond with you. And because you roll a 10 plus, you can clear an element yourself, ask them a question they must answer, or gain a bond with them.
Ooh, that is tough. Should I clear wood or regain that bond that I've burned? I think I'll regain the bond.
I'm going to cut away from that. We'll come back to this scene to allow that to play out some more. I think, Master Zhang, we take up with the sort of as the morning hours come, you and Empty Falcon and Empty Falcon's son have been tending to the servants and guards that were injured, and that has taken up some of your time. And Empty Falcon finally has the time to come and say, Master Zhang, I owe you a great debt. And I must apologize for my earlier rude treatment of you.
Think nothing of it. Do you have any knowledge of why you were attacked and Chun Bao's household as well?
And you see him pause and my good friend Chun Bao and I have, among others, have an old connection. Old history together.
The past often returns to trouble us.
It often does. Chun Bao, myself, and a few others in our youth studied with a master who turned out to be not a chivalrous man. We were taught in secret, away from our families. We thought that this was someone who was gifting us with arts, who had recognized our talent, but in fact, someone who merely wished to use us. When he died, we split his manual apart amongst the surviving brethren. And I fear that someone knows that and is searching for that now.
How many pieces was the manual divided into?
It was divided into 5 pieces.
You must warn the other holders of the manual immediately.
You have said that there was a threat to the Ox Pilgrims. They are another one who had a piece. The fourth lies in the household of the mistress of the Meteor Grace clan. But the 5th, that one I do not know where it has gone to, where it has vanished to. That was taken by my brother some years ago.
Well, perhaps our prisoner can tell us something. Shall we see if he has regained consciousness?
Certainly you have him tied up. He is secured. He is part of that semi-fanatical group, the Unbroken Brethren. When you come in, he merely looks up at you and has a crooked smile. Master Zhang, he says.
You know me. I did not catch your name earlier.
I did not give my name.
Well, then all is explained. I was worried that my memory was starting to fail me. You fought adequately. Would you possibly be interested in satisfying my curiosity as to why we fought?
Master Zhang, I'm of the Unbroken Brethren. That is all I will say.
I think I'm going to study him.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and use water.
All right.
And that's a 12.
All right. So you have 2 hold.
And Let's see. How can I manipulate the prisoner to get him to give up some information?
Well, I think you can actually ask for the information, and then we can declare about the methodology. We can actually go to that.
Right.
So what is it you want to learn from him, and then we'll figure out how you get that from him.
That's where can I find the person who hired him?
So I think you will kind of look at his clothing there, and what is the detail that you see on him that kind of tells you the location that his gang was like hiding in before all this went down? What is the detail, the smell, or the feel that you get? Of course, because your other senses you're using to figure this out.
There are some grains ground into his shoes and clinging to his clothing, so I can tell that he came from not necessarily a grain warehouse itself, but somewhere close to a grain warehouse. And there's also a smell of sour beer on him. So I think it's somewhere where it's probably a bar near a grain warehouse.
And I think you have enough sense of the town that you can name that, and he will be shocked when you say that name, and he says, well, go there if you will. My master, Unending Veil, will deal with you as is only right and proper.
Okay. And for my other hold, I'm going to reveal a detail.
Okay.
Which is that when we turn the prisoner over to the magistrates, we discover that a noble named Thundernail Daughter, who has recently arrived in the city, has personally taken charge of the investigation into these attacks.
Yeah, the magistrate here, normally this would have been overseen by Sir Zhang. He is the most important senior of the criminal magistrates here. To have someone like this come and arrive is most unusual, and the timing is interesting. It's so quickly, and the magistrate here will say, Master Zhang, obviously you didn't have any involvement in the actual case here, but I'm certain that the Thundernail Daughter would wish to speak with you. I could lead you to her offices if you wish, but she may be out and about looking at the other crime scenes.
I would be happy to speak with Thundernail Daughter. I am as anxious as she is to uncover the solution to this mystery, as my friends are involved.
And Empty Falcon will say, I hope that you will return, Master Zhang, when the opportunity arises.
I will be pleased to, Empty Falcon.
And he nods and sends you on your way. We'll come back to that meeting. We come back, probably a long shot of the two of you, but the camera then turns and we see Miss Feng, as the camera swings, we can see her sort of positioned in between in the shot. She's still sitting there impassively. So, Lady Twilight, where do we go from here?
The question, where shall we go from here, Jungling? Tell me about this assassin you foiled last night.
The assassin was a woman. I have her mask. She has one of my bells. And unfortunately, I, Rich, don't remember where it was that we fought. If it was
in an alley, she used your bell to lure you in, and then dropped it down from the heights to come at you.
Where did I lose the bell?
When you were chasing after her, you actually threw one of the bells to try and strike her, and she caught it.
And when did I first? I'm sorry, I will be relating all of this.
This is all good.
Okay. And when did I first encounter her? Was she at the...
So she was at Lady Twilight Summer's estate. When you arrived, you kind of came in, and there was there were some dead people here. And you and Master Zhang went to pursue her. Master Zhang unfortunately lost his footing. You attempted to stop her, and she caught that bell and then took off.
Okay, cool.
So she was clearly either involved or a witness to what occurred here.
This assassin was here last night.
Do you have the mask with you?
Miss Feng?
Miss Feng carefully draws it out and turns and hands it to you, Yingling, to present.
And I do so. I laid it out for her very presentationally.
This sure feels like I need to study this mask.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll.
And as she's studying, this is where Yingling is like dictating what, Lowell just told me that I'm not going to make, you listen to again.
Blah.
I do it with more flair.
Absolutely.
I'm going to use Earth here because I am literally focusing all my attention on trying to extract every single detail I can out of this thing.
Sure, absolutely.
Mostly because I'm terrified that it's my faction. Oh, that's a 12.
You have 2 hold. You may ask a question or you may make a declaration.
This person was on Youngling's scale, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that seems to be evident. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So I guess there's a question about a person. Are they, in fact, are they a Serene Mother Midnight faction?
This is the color, the reversal to it, the thing. It is a classic mask, though some of your sisters will ornament theirs to make them unique. This one is been left relatively unadorned, but yes, it does look like that.
Let's just spend that hold again. Do I know this person?
Yes. There is one of your sisters called the Red Marsh Daughter. She is, how do I best put this? She is often sent to clean up things, to clean up messes. But she's also, like you, regarded as a little bit rebellious and temperamental.
I hate her already.
So you do see Lady Twilight studies this cloth closely as you relay and finish your story, Yingling.
What a dreadful thing. She must be a person of low character.
But skilled, well trained.
I mean, I wouldn't go so far as well trained. I mean, well, obviously she must have been if she gave you such a hard time because you are a skilled and advanced fighter.
That's what I was insinuating. Thank you.
If only I had some clue as to who this dreadful person is. I would just head out to one of her haunts and demand some sort of satisfaction, or send a strapping young champion to do that for me. I mean, of course.
If I knew where she was, I would be your champion, lady.
I mean, I wouldn't know anything about this. I've heard there's a noodle house called Yun's that's it's just a little far past the Buddhist temple. I hear low character people hang out there, but I would know nothing of this. It's just idle talk among the servants.
What interesting idle talk. He looks over to Miss Fang. He's been to Yun's a number of times in the past.
But I mean, I wouldn't dream of telling you how to proceed upon your mission of revenge.
Well played.
I do very much wish to keep you safe, my lady.
Of course. Well, the safety of the household is more important than my poor bodily integrity. And until my adopted father is returned, this household has no head. So
I would believe it has a head at this very moment, perhaps the best that it has ever had.
So this noodle shop, shall we go then, Master?
Yes. I'll return anon.
I look forward to your report, of course, in a professional capability.
That's me. Professional.
Very,
Let's go, Miss Fang.
As you wish.
professional.
Let us go to this noodle house that you have discovered and found out and clearly have been not led by your nose to. Shall we go?
I really wish she liked me better. I think we would get along so well.
I think you guys would have a snark off.
Is it in a twist of fate? Is she like a total fangirl for the Red Cloud Sword or something?
We'll find out, won't we?
Yes. Not like that worthless aristocrat. You should date a girl like that.
So you will head up. Let me ask you this, Lady Twilight, before I move on. Is that, in fact, a haunt of the Red Marsh daughter, or are you sending Yingling on a wild goose chase?
I'm trying to think of that myself. I'm like 50-50 either way, but on the other hand, if I was a truly devious master criminal, what I might do is send Youngling down to stir up some trouble with the members of my own faction who are clearly untrustworthy jerks and clearly Serene Mother Midnight has been completely misled as to the situation. If only the Tsar knew. If I were that kind of a masterful criminal, I would then proceed to make some sort of excuse to go out on town and perhaps to purchase more special paper to send the funeral invitations and consult with an astrologer, in which case I would begin to track down this assassin so that I might, have a frank discussion and exchange of views with her.
Excellent. Then I think we know how things are going to go. Let me cut away from you two. Master Zhang, it will take you a bit. They're clearly trying to find where the Thundernailed daughter is. And eventually you will hear a voice, and the guide person who's bringing you, there's a woman kind of giving kind of curt orders. You can hear that. And your guide says, let me go and tell the magistrate that you are here.
Right. I would like to make a study move at this point.
Sure.
When I hear her giving orders. Let's do it with, say, metal.
Okay.
Okay, that is a 10.
All right.
And when I hear her voice, I am completely floored because I recognize the voice. This is the voice of my late wife, who I killed a couple of years ago. I killed her
Absolutely.
myself. So this is, somehow my late wife has been reborn, and I am going to rewrite my romantic entanglement in a moment.
Absolutely. This woman comes over. She is, again, slightly older, and she will say, "You are Master Zhang?"
You are called Thundernail Daughter?
That is my name.
Do you know me, lady?
I have heard your name in connection with some discussion of seditious creations of shrines independent of imperial authority. But other than that,
But do you recognize me? Like I removed the bandage from around my eyes. Look closely, lady. Is my face familiar to you?
no. Have we met before?
Okay. At this point, I would like to change my romantic entanglement. That's to, I believe, Thundernail Daughter, a noble recently arrived in the city to be my late wife reborn, but she appears not to know me and is disdainful of my faction.
That seems appropriate.
And I will roll inner conflict using that. I think 5. I'll go with metal.
Okay.
That was an 11.
All right. You keep yourself steady there. You still have another hold too, don't forget, from your study action. She will say, "So tell me, what is your role in all of this?"
Purely by chance, I was at the house of Chun Bao when it was after it was attacked. I fought one of the assassins, but she escaped. I then went to the house of Empty Falcon and was in time to prevent an assassination attempt on him. I captured the assassin and I have brought him here to you. And I have identified the person who hired him and know where he can be found.
And how is it that you knew to go to this other location? How is it that you knew that Empty Falcon was the next target?
I did not know he was the next target, my lady. I suspected him of orchestrating the attack. He and Chun Bao had an argument earlier in the day.
Why is it that one such as you is involved in this matter?
As I said, I am friends with the children of Chun Bao.
Well, then I suggest that you take it upon yourself to assist them in their time of mourning and not throw yourself about in amateur heroics. This is a matter for the law.
I am always obedient to the law, and I give her a very formal bow.
I will have one of my men escort you.
Very gracious of you.
And you will hear her whisper to the person that she sends, with you and say, tell me where he goes. Keep an eye on him. There's more to him than meets the eye. And the person who led you here comes, Master Jen, where would you like to head? To the house of Chun Bao?
Yes, certainly.
Oh. And he deferringly takes your elbow to lead you that way.
Yes, and I very meekly while I'm in this official building, I allow myself to be led.
Absolutely. I'm going to cut away from you to this disreputable noodle house that you've been in a few times. It is run by a group of sisters who took it over from their late father, and they are, there's lots of shouting from the kitchen and the sound of noodles being thrown into the wok and things being sizzling away, and you will come in, and one of the young women will come over and you will say, Master Yingling, you return to us again.
I do. It is so good to see you, little hopping crow. How has business been?
It has been well. What can we get for you?
Noodles, of course.
Come and sit. And Miss Feng, it is good to see you as well. And you two sit, and there's the sound, and it seems like a normal place. And Miss Feng, after you sat and they're shouting an order and thing, Miss Feng says, "So, what are we going to do?"
Oh, we're going to ask for information about my missing bell. It seems appropriate.
All right.
But did you have a different idea in mind?
No, I wasn't sure how you plan to proceed here.
Oh, well, that's how
I merely wished to be on the same page as you so that I knew what affairs might fall out from all of this.
That makes sense. Of course. Well, that is how we will be proceeding. I will be asking Hopping Crow for information about my bell, and of course that would lead us to the assassin.
Absolutely. So, Rich, you wish to get some information here.
I do.
Does this sound like a good chance for study move? It's like it's good fiction for that?
It does, because I didn't take the move that would have allowed me to. Yeah, that's a shame. I should have chosen better. Oh, well, let me study.
You have chosen poorly.
You chose poorly. Yeah, I will study and see what I can get, and I think he's trying to reflect and be calculating here.
That seems fair.
He's not being very creative because he's basically allowing two different people to lead him by the nose to be here. And so, yeah, it's just that. It does have a +1 in that. We'll see how this goes. That. I believe an XP for that 6.
Yes.
Yeah, good. All right. Rock on. I fail.
So you will ask what is the sort of the blunt and maybe a little bit unclever way in which you put your question to little hopping crow.
Did you notice I'm missing one of my bells? Have you seen it?
And she's like, no, how did you lose it? I don't think anyone turned in a bell.
Oh, did not lose it here. I lost it in town, but they're often.
How did you lose it?
It was stolen.
By? Who would steal a bell from you?
By a masked woman who fought with me in the streets and ran away.
A masked woman, you say? That seems most unusual and nothing I would have ever encountered in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Your noodles. She puts them there in front of you.
Thank
And
you.
the camera follows her going back into the kitchen, and we can see her speaking then with the chef, the woman there who's cooking, and we see her older woman, gray streak in her hair. We see her turn and look back, and her eyes go over you, and she is very clearly taken note of you, that you are a threat to be dealt with. But you're eating these delicious noodles. They're so good.
They
So good.
are.
Okay.
I nearly forget myself for a few moments.
Yeah, a little bit of sesame oil on them. So good. A little crispiness to them. They cut the green onions and laid those on there. It's amazing. I'm going to cut away from you. Let's come back to Lady Twilight Summer. You have made your exit from the household. Again, there's some protestations that like someone needs to be here, but you give them the look, and they get quiet.
And in any case, I immediately change into a servant's costume as soon as I'm outside the house. Yes, of course, standard walk behind a cart, come out the other side.
Absolutely. So what are you doing?
I am hunting my prey. I mean, I for a frank exchange of views.
Let us have you roll Trail of Everlasting Hero. What do you want to use to roll this?
I think this is Earth again because it is sure as heck focus and presence.
That seems right.
So let's see if we get lucky again. We do 13 or 12.
13.
12. It's still a 10 plus.
So I think that you will find your good friend, the Red Marsh daughter, in her day job. And she is a paper maker. And she is working in a shop there. And she's usually pretty alert. But you can tell that she is, how do I put this, slightly deaf in one ear right now. Like you can tell that like she's reacting to sounds over here, but she clearly, and you can see that there's some bruising there. That Jingling's final blow seems to have, at least for the moment, deafened her, giving you an advantage you can take care of, or take advantage of.
That's fantastic.
So what do you do?
I walk in and I say, I'm looking for some paper that would suit these characters, and I hand her a sheet that has our clan marking on it.
And she will look up, and she's out exposed in the open, and she will say, well, I will see what we have in the back.
Stay a moment, sister. I believe this requires a certain personal touch in order to satisfy this customer.
Then perhaps you should come with me, and we will both appraise the papers.
Of course. You don't mind if I take my own brush with me?
Please. And she stands, holds her brush. You stand, and she will move to the back into this back storeroom. There are shelves with the different papers on them, and ink pots and so on. And she will say, did the Serene Mother send you?
Speak to me of the mess you left at Magistrate Chun's house last night.
I left no mess.
You were not tracked at all?
I left no mess at the magistrate's household.
It is believed that you perhaps did not fully understand your instructions. Let us go over them again. What were you ordered to take?
Hearts and minds.
Okie dokie.
You have a +1 forward on this from your hunt move.
Yeah, no, this has got to be. Wait a minute. I would do metal if it wasn't marked because I would be all calculating, but I ain't, so it's got to be fire.
Okay.
That +3 stands me well today. That's a 10.
I was sent to observe the attack and make my way in to retrieve the documents.
And you retrieve those successfully, I assume. I trust you're not that incompetent.
As I told the Serene Mother this morning, the documents were not there. They had already been removed.
That is your story.
That is what happened.
Well, perhaps other parties involved in this matter may have different opinions upon your loyalty, since I choose to assume your competence. Be that as it may, the kidnapping of a magistrate is a messy business, and a death was left. This will not go easily. The emperor will have to be notified. The bureaucracy is slowly going to grind its way towards our city.
So they found out what happened to Chun?
Word gets around.
Who took him?
Oh, it was not your retrieval? Who exactly were you working with? Perhaps their loyalty needs to be questioned.
I was sent alone by the Serene Mothers to oversee the attack, to see this other group conducting their assault.
Well, then perhaps they got overexcited and decided that they would endanger our clan by kidnapping a prominent magistrate and murdering his wife.
I saw no sign of Chun Bao, so if they kidnapped him, it was before the incident.
That makes things more complicated, doesn't it? But speak to me about the death of Shunhua.
What is it you wish to know?
Was it at your hands? I ask merely so that we can keep our books straight on this.
Says, I've already given my report to the Serene Mother.
As I say, there are other parties involved.
Besides the Serene Mother?
We were working with another group. Do you think they had only one master?
Are you saying that you serve another besides our clan?
I say that I am being sent to investigate the many disasters that have been involved in this situation. Surely you do not wish the blame to fall upon you.
If you wish, you and I can go and speak to the Serene Mother.
Or you could just tell me what happened to Shunhua and I depart.
I'm going to cut right there on that pause. Let's take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back with Master Zheng, okay? Master Zheng, this escort will take you to the house of Chun Bao, and he will leave you there, but then very clearly goes to the nearby corner to kind of watch the front doors to see if you leave from there or go somewhere else. You can sense his presence even after he leaves you. What do you wish to do?
Well, first I check to see who is home, which I take it is nobody.
They will apologize that Lady Twilight Summer has left to gather materials to aid in the morning hour. They do mention that Yingling was here. So you do have a sense that he was present, but has also left.
All right, so I'll leave and I will go investigate this tavern where I can find an ending veil.
Absolutely. So you will head over to this tavern facility, this place. It has the look of a hive of scum and villainy there. And you will certainly get some looks here. What does he want to do?
I think I want to just inconspicuously eavesdrop, see if I can identify an ending veil and learn something about him before confronting him.
Sure. Let's have you roll. Study. I think that's appropriate here.
Okay, and this seems like, I guess, patience. So I'll roll with wood. 9.
So you have one hold. What is your question or what is your declaration?
What is Unending Veil's scale?
He is above you in scale.
Yeah.
You can tell that he is one of the superior people here, that some others of the group are present, and that they are using this as sort of a meeting place. The sense that you get is that whatever plan has been put in play, that it has not gone as they wished it to. That just the sound of the voice, the way they speak, there's a certain amount of irritation that suggests that not all has gone as they wished.
Right, and I'm eavesdropping. I'm trying to figure out their other plans, but since I only got one hold, I figure I don't find out anything more. So I think I will go find the Meteor Grace clan.
Okay. So let's establish that. Tell me what you know about the Meteor Grace clan.
They're reasonably wealthy merchant clan, and they're very new. They gained a lot of wealth very rapidly just recently.
And Rich, the Meteor Grace clan, this new mercantile clan, has some money that they've come to. What has been your experience with them? Have you interacted with them? Have you seen them fight? What is it that Yingling knows of this clan?
This is we're creating this clan whole cloth right now? Just making sure I
Yeah.
don't want to. Okay.
Yeah, this is one of the clans that apparently has some association. This sword manual was torn into pieces, and there was suggestion that they have one of these pieces.
I think Yingling has played at a few of their parties, and they are a little common and rough. They're not terribly noble.
Nouveau riche.
Yes, Nouveau Riche.
Okay.
That's good.
A family that you see in your experience, there seems to be like old secrets or old hidden things, certainly there.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, Lady Twilight, give him that and those pieces of information. What is the weapon or what is the style of the Meteor Grace clan?
Well, there are these. They still use peasant weapons, so they're still using like flails and staff, of course, but it's all the things that, or sickle, all the things that could be adapted from agricultural tools. I mean, rich and well worked now, but
Absolutely, things that have the look of the tonfa or the very basic implement weapons that they've tried to make look fancy, but you can still see through that they are not as polished as certainly your family. So with that in mind, you will arrive at the household of the Meteor Grace clan. It does not look like they have been attacked.
Yeah.
At least not attacked yet.
And I did not bother trying to lose my tail on the way to the tavern where Unending Veil was, but I think I'll ditch him after I leave the tavern.
Okay, let's have you make a simple overcome for that.
All right. I'll just roll metal, I guess. That's a 10.
That is a 10. So yeah, what is the montage of you losing this fool?
Right, I'm just ambling casually down the street, and there's this wagon passes by between us, and when the wagon moves out of the way, suddenly I'm gone, and the guard is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it cuts to a few minutes later when I drop off the bottom of the wagon one street over and continue on.
Absolutely. And we'll come back to you and we'll take up with you at the Meteor Grace clan in just a moment. Yingling, you will hear this voice call out, "Brother." And you will look over, kind of in the midst of, you're not sure, planning things out, and there's stuff going on here, but suddenly your brother Gang is there.
Gang Shun, brother. It has been too long.
I am shocked and offended that I would find you in such a disreputable place. And everybody here as he comes in goes, "Oh, Gang!" Like they clearly know him here.
They have the best noodles.
They do. Come and sit with me, brother. Miss Fang. Miss Fang does not care for your brother.
I'm okay with that. I'll come over, sit down on the bench across from him. What brings you to Yoon's?
Noodles? Why would it ever be anything else but noodles?
Why would it? Why would it?
You see him stop, and he looks at you, and he goes, "What is wrong? Something is out of place."
You're so perceptive, brother. Runs his hand over bell, empty pouch and clapper.
"Oh, you've lost a bell.
I have indeed.
Did you drop it when you had to run away from a check?"
No, I would never do such a thing.
More than once.
Brother
Go on, brother. I play. I can tell that the loss of your prized instrument has thrown you off.
It has. I will recover. In fact, I am here in hopes of recovering. There are rumors that someone here at Hume's may know a bit about what has happened to my bell, but Hopping Crow has been too busy. I'm not sure who else to lean on. Who do you recommend, brother?
To lean on? What do you mean?
I need to find my bell.
Where did you last have it?
I last had it when I chased after a masked fighter, a woman. It's at the house where many people were murdered last night. I fought her, she ran, and she took one of my bells from me.
And his mood definitely darkens. Oh.
Yes. There's a reason why I'm not as jovial as before. There were many deaths. And my bell is important, of course, to me, but even more important is finding out the murderer.
Well, I see you have much to worry on. I should leave you to your matters.
You're not going to offer to help me?
Well, certainly. How can I be of assistance to you, brother?
Who should I lean on to try to find out more about where my bell has gone? They know you here. You've been here more than I have.
I will tell you that this is not a place you wish to ask questions.
I already have.
Oh. Well, then I suggest that you and I get up and leave together.
Look over to Miss Fang. That's not a terrible idea. We should do that.
And he will say, "We should be careful. I've heard rumors about this place."
What have you heard?
I have heard that people who ask too many questions around here don't show up again.
Never stopped me before, brother. Get up as if we're going to leave. We should at least finish your noodles, right? You came here for noodles. What other reason would you come here for?
Yes. He sits back down. Let's get those noodles.
I have been wanting to talk to you, actually. And you're so hard to track down. Spending time away from the Gloaming Orchestra. What have you been up to, my older brother?
I would like you to make an inner conflict roll as we head down that particular path.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Mark XP and roll anything except your style element. My style element is water, so I think right now I think the passions are getting me. I'm moving a little too quickly.
Sure.
I'll be rolling with fire. Here we go. Aha! A 10.
You keep yourself together. He says, I have been traveling. Well, performing amongst the orchestra is fine, but I have been working on my craft.
Oh. With anyone in particular?
I, like you, am a man of the road, a wanderer who cannot be tied down by names and places. Like you, I'm a free spirit.
No master is teaching you techniques then, brother. Is that right?
No, he lies to you.
No master that our order would be very unhappy hearing about.
Brother, if you have something to say, say it.
You're learning techniques from Copper Chang and the Glowing Orchestra. Will not be happy if any other members find out.
You know nothing, Jingling. The masters, what they have taught you is but a pittance. They have kept so much away from us. They've hidden so much away. They tell us that these things are forbidden, are not to be learned, but these are techniques that the music that we can make with them is earth-shattering.
Earth-shattering, you say?
Let me show you some.
Okay. Show me.
Not here, but
Of course
tonight.
not here.
Tonight, come in and meet me at the pagoda by the lake just at the edge of town. I will show you.
Okay, brother. I'll be there.
And he looks actually pleased now, like that you're saying you're going to actually listen to him. Like he seems genuinely excited.
I will listen to him. I don't want him to get in trouble. And if this is, I'm legit, like, gonna see what it is. I'm hoping I can beat his butt, so he will not believe in these profane teachings.
We will come back to you. Lady Twilight Summer, she says, I do not know who the woman was who was sent. I know that the Serene Mother knew who she was. I know that this other group knew who she was. And I was shocked when she struck down the lady of the household. But the lady of the household seemed to know who she was as well.
Clearly, our clan has not been given all the information. I must admit I come on slightly ulterior motives. I spoke last night with the Red Cloud Sword, and she told me that upon attempting to complete her phase of the mission, she was ambushed by a magistrate who somehow was aware of many of her techniques. This sounds to me as if we have been betrayed to someone if they are sending police spies who are perfectly matched for our fighters.
I have a lead on this that I am going to follow.
On who?
There is someone who arrived towards the end of the attack, and I'm going to follow up on that.
Was a man, a woman?
I will deal with that in my own way.
Perhaps it is time for those of us who are not privy to the upper levels of clan discussions to look to our own safety. If you wish to share information, I shall speak to the Red Cloud Sword. I'm sure she has things to say.
I'm sure she does, but I don't trust you.
That is the first step of wisdom.
Then I'm going to keep walking wisely.
Perhaps we could discuss this again the next time I need some paper.
Certainly. You see that she's looking at you like she knows you're part of the group. She's still trying to place exactly who you are. And you see her kind of nodding, and she's like, okay, we will speak again.
I look forward to it.
Oh, your paper. And she will hand you a ream of the morning paper that you wished.
Thank you. Let us hope that none of us have occasion to use this in the near future.
Who does she think you are? Give me that. Are you have another identity that you've clearly dressed as a servant? Does she think that's a cover identity? What do you think she knows here about this?
I think the Serene Mother. If we've never established whether or not the Serene Mother is one person, many people, if their identity is disguised, but it sure is beginning to seem like the Serene Mother Midnight clan is one that is very, very interested in the backstabby and watching each other's back sort of thing. So okay. I think she may think that I am sent either by the Serene Mother to see what people know as an infosec operation, or potentially I'm from a rival center of power within the clan that is worried about getting shoved into the cold light of, murderous ambush.
Okay, that seems fair. That gives me a better sense of where she's coming from. Master Zhang, you are greeted at the door by one of the servants, who will say, "Who are you?"
I am a friend of Chunbao and Empty Falcon.
Oh. Do you wish to speak with the mistress of the household?
Yes, please.
Oh, hold on. And we'll go inside, and then we'll come back very quickly. We'll say, Mistress Fox, we'll see you. Come in.
And I come in. I follow him.
This house, you can tell it has that feel of one where they're trying to keep up appearances, maybe not doing a great job. Just that little scent of more whitewashing over things than actually repairing or dealing with things. But you will be greeted with a hearty huzzah from this Mistress Fox. She goes, "Master Zhang, you are the founder of the Diligent Bee Shrine, right?"
I am. You have heard of us?
Oh yes, and your son is Pei, the merchant.
Yes. Do you know Pei?
I have met your son. He is an honorable gentleman and a delight to deal with. Come in. Why did you not send word that you were coming? I could have prepared a better meal, something to greet you here. Come in.
Thank you.
She,
Uh,
you know, actually puts her hands on you and guides you over the chair. She's like, this is an excellent, meeting here. How can I help you?
Um, have you had a message from Empty Falcon today?
No, I have not.
Surprises me. I spoke with him earlier. He and Shunbao have been attacked.
Well, that's not good.
Yes, and Empty Falcon told me that you have one of the 5 pieces of a manual, which we think may be the reason for the attack. Someone may be attempting to steal it.
Oh, well, do you know what this manual, what, is there a title or something? I do not know Empty Falcon or Toon Bao. They were friends of my father.
Apparently it had some sort of martial arts techniques which your father had been trained in.
Oh, well, we should look through his things then. What remains, I've sold some of it on.
Yes, yes, and you should tell your servants to be wary.
Absolutely, and she will stand up and shout for one of her servants. She will say, "You need to be wary."
Yes. The household may be attacked.
Oh, well then I should send the servants away because they might be in danger.
Yes, yes. You have some guards, I assume.
Yes, guard. Yes, plural. Yes, more than one. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Well, inform them that they should be cautious. It might perhaps be wise if there was a more secure place where you could go.
All right. Well, let me show you to the room
Yes.
where we have my father's papers and scrolls and so on.
Yes.
And she completely like she takes you absolutely at face value here, apparently.
Right. As well she should, because I'm a very honest person.
Absolutely. And she will take you into this room that you can smell the old scrolls and dust and paper and so on. And as you move through, you would expect there might be orderly lanes or boxes or things like that. But immediately you encounter the fact that no one has taken care of this and things are kind of piled up around and about.
All right. Well, I will look around with presumably Mistress Fox's help and see if I can find where this manuscript would be kept.
Why don't you make a study roll?
And I'll roll with wood. Well, that's an 11.
That is 11. You have 2 hold. You may make a declaration or ask a question.
Yeah. So Mistress Fox is looking around, looking through all the books and papers, and I'm just sort of wandering around, poking at things, and after a while, I fiddle with a piece of the baseboard, and a hidden compartment pops open.
All right. Yes, so you will find a hidden compartment. So we'll say that is 1 hold for declaration.
And it's all right, and I will ask a question. I mean, what do I find in the secret compartment?
So you asked me the question, that allows me to choose now.
Yeah.
So I think you will find that the compartment is empty.
Okay. Is there any trace in there that is a clue?
I will say that you will find a bit of torn cloth. Like someone got this, and then when it shut, it caught, and you can feel it's a bit of silken cloth, like maybe some sort of cloth mask that might have been wrapped around someone's face, that the edge is torn from it.
Yeah, and I can tell that it hasn't been there for long. Yeah.
That seems reasonable.
Yes. Yeah. So I informed Mistress Fox that apparently the book has been taken and that she does not need to worry.
Oh,
I don't think
so. So I should tell my servants not to be wary.
Perhaps a little wary, but I think it is. I think they have what they have what they want.
Well, you will stay for dinner.
Yes, that is very kind. I would be pleased to have dinner with you.
Absolutely. Come and sit. And she's very clearly like she wants to impress you as best she can. Your son is a merchant. You run a shrine. She's clearly like this is great. An honorable person here who obviously has pull. I want to treat them with all the deference I can, and she will feed you. And it is probably more to your liking because the meal is rustic at best.
Okay.
I will cut away from you, Yingling. You've spoken with your brother, had this conversation. Where do we go from there? Do we want to cut to you meeting your brother later, or do you have other things you wish to do in the meantime?
He's really on about this Yoon's thing. His brother has not dissuaded him. So I think that he is going to go out of Yoon's and then sneak back around. So he kind of leaves with his brother, and then he'll sneak back around and see if he can see if one of the sisters, maybe there's a sister he could flirt with and get what he needs. Yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. So, do you return back in, or are you going out back to wait for one
back.
of them? Okay.
Yeah, wait for one of them maybe to head to the well, or to
you're back in the sort of the enclosed back area where they have a well and like a little place to sit and so on, and you kind of hop the wall back there, and one of the sisters is coming out, and she's sees you, and there's that moment where she kind of hand maybe goes to her side, but clearly she doesn't have a weapon because she's just a servant girl. She'll say, Jingling.
Well, hello
What
there.
are you doing here?
It's such a nice day. Come over here. Have a seat on the wall with me. Talk. You can take a break, can't you? Your sisters can work.
All right. She comes over. Where is Miss Feng?
Oh, Miss Feng is running errands. Yeah,
So you are here by yourself?
I am. Here all by myself. Just me.
She comes over and sits beside you.
How are you? We have never actually sat down and talked.
That is true, but I am merely a servant in this household of noodles. Why should one such as you, a master musician, pay me any heed?
Well, I have a feeling that I said something to upset your hopping crow, and I thought you, Sunset, might be more amenable to just chat with me. It's been a long day, and I've had many things go wrong.
What did you wish to speak about?
I lost my bell. I sure wish I could get it back.
What's your intent here, Rich? Are we trying to get information from her? You're trying to manipulate her? What do you think?
Try to manipulate her, flirt a little bit, be a gallivant.
Let's have your hearts and minds. You are a gallivant.
That's true.
And you are hot. We've already established that.
Quite hot. Thank you. Yeah. So I just need to roll. What am I doing? I think I want to go with my element here. But am I being aware and wise? No, I'm not. I'm trying to be passionate and use some creativity to try to find a way around my problem. I really want my bell. So I'm going to roll with fire. Here we go.
Okay.
And that is a mere 8. So they can bow to my words and do what I want, or reveal themselves, overreact, hesitate, or alienate.
So your pause. Here's the thing that Kat established in that last scene was that these people are backstabby with each other. And so I think there's a moment where she goes, well, I have a friend who knows a woman who works in a paper shop. And she said that she saw her friend with an unusual bell this morning. I don't know if it's yours, but maybe it is. Maybe she found it.
He reaches over and takes Sunset hands. Thank you so much. I had a feeling that perhaps Hopping Crow knew the same information you're giving me, but she doesn't.
No. I'm sure she doesn't. I wouldn't say anything to her about this.
I won't. She doesn't trust me, and there's no reason to reveal that you do. Thank you.
No, thank you.
When I get my bell back, I'll play for you sometime.
There is a bit where she kind of because you're leaning in, you're close, you smell good. And she's like, oh, yeah. She loses her words for a bit.
Nice. I'm good with that. And then I'll leave a warning.
Okay. Lady Twilight Summer, where to now?
Sadly, back to the house. Duty calls. That's the problem with being the unorthodox. You have to multitask.
Should we bring you? We could bring you back in contact with one of the others, or do you?
Oh yeah, that would be fine too. I'm totally down with that.
Would it be okay if we brought Master Zheng back to the
yeah.
household? Does that seem good for you, Stephen?
Yeah, that's what I was planning.
Okay. Then when you return and it's gotten on evening by this point, one of the servants will say, lady, Master Zheng arrived just a few moments ago. He was here earlier and has returned.
You have purchased the chrysanthemums that I left specific instructions about?
What were available, I have.
Excellent. And you've prepared tea for our guest?
Yes, absolutely.
I shall receive him in my aunt's reception chamber.
Things have been made ready. And they have clearly they've prioritized making you happy and then getting everything set. Like that is what they want to do here. And Master Zheng, one of the servants will come and say, Milady has returned. If you'll follow me. And we'll lead you in, and you can smell the flowers. You can hear the rustle of the morning papers and cloths that have been put up, the incense burning. All of that is very prominent here. And you will arrive at Lady Twilight's aunt's chambers. Late aunt's chambers.
I'm glad you're here, Master.
It is always your hospitality is always, of course, but I'm so sorry for your loss.
She was a second mother to me. Of course, therein lies the tragedy that I must sequentially number them. I'm glad you're here, Master. First, because of your wisdom, which will help I and the servants mourn, no doubt. You have lived so long and studied so deeply in the scriptures, I'm sure that you will help me. You will help illustrate those corners of grief that must be swept out. The second, of course, is I know of your skill and prowess. I would be indebted to you if you would stay and help make my household as secure as it can be.
Of course, Lady Twilight. I would do what I can. I fear, however, we are facing an enemy whose skill outmatches even my own.
Perhaps you will not stand alone. I have requested the Jingling Shun also stay and help. Clearly, the guards my uncle was pleased to afford proved no great obstacle to any of those who wished our family ill. On that subject, Master, it is not possible, of course, for me to apologize for the deeds that were done by my noble uncle, but suffice to say that within his household, you had favor from other corners.
Has there been any word of his whereabouts?
He was taken. I was informed by my contacts in the magistracy that it may have been, there may have been multiple Jiangwu criminal organizations involved. Those clans, they know little of honor. Whatever skill individual practitioners and members of those clans may in fact have, some of which I have heard is quite formidable, even among their women, but
Yes.
but yet they remain without honor, of course, and are criminals. And yes.
Yes, it appears that at least one of these organizations is in search of a book your father had, or rather a portion of a book your father had.
Some sort of,
Yes.
is it Uncle's first edition of The Journey to the West? Because everybody's always trying to borrow that from him.
No, something even rarer, unique in fact. A manual of martial arts techniques.
Thank
known
goodness
only-
No, go on, please.
Yeah, yes. Known only to him and four of his fellow students. Empty Falcon, whom Chunji and I visited, had another portion of the book. A third was in the possession of what was the name of it?
The Meteor Grace clan?
The Meteor Grace clan, but that was stolen from them.
What other clans could be involved in this? I know of so few. I don't suppose that they're a reputable group. The Ox Brother Escort Agency. I don't
Yes.
suppose. Oh, what a lucky
Yes.
guess.
Yes. Yes.
I'll confess, I do find some of the romance among these people to be very entertaining. I may be lady of the house, but you understand, master, I am still quite a young girl. I can't help but find a certain grace and romance, especially among some of their stronger and more skilled women fighters, many of whom I heard are matched for any master, but I'm sure that's an exaggeration.
Yes. Yes. Well, I have traced one of the assassins back to their master, a man named Unending Veil, and I observed him from a distance. I can tell that he is extraordinarily skilled.
Well, it's a good thing that you found discretion to be the better part of valor. You'll forgive the cat does not understand the household is in mourning.
Yes.
Yes, Gray Shadow.
That's
Be nice to Master Zhang. He has come from a great distance.
Yeah.
Well, what is to be done? As far as I know, nothing was taken from my uncle's study.
Have you perhaps ever seen anything that might be this book? Do you know where it might be hidden?
Well, of course, I did not make a practice to intrude too deeply into my uncle's affairs. After all, he is a magistrate and I am but a poor unmarried relation.
Of course. But
I mean,
perhaps you might have glimpsed something by chance.
I know only of his daily routine, what the hours he rose, the time he spent at the Buddhist temple, and of course, the 15 or so sub-magistrates who would come to the office, who I know all by name and sight. There's certain papers that he would ask me to make sure were sent out. Of course, I never read them. They were all sealed, and it's impossible to break those seals. There's certainly no technique anybody would know how to, for example, examine a letter going out. I'm sure it would only be filled with boring business and idle gossip about one's superiors. And a few curious references, I'm sure, that I would not understand even if I had read something about a secret shrine buried somewhere in a bamboo forest. My uncle sometimes spoke of things idly. He was also interested in the Zhongwu world, though of course now from what you tell me, he may have known something about it. That I am I am stunned. I had no idea my uncle was so interesting.
Yes, this must be a great shock to you and all of your innocence. But you are the head of the household now. It is time for you to accept heavier responsibilities than you were ever prepared for.
This is true. If my life as an orphan has not prepared me for heavier responsibilities at this point, then it is time for me to learn them. Yes.
Yes.
So Unending Veil, you say, of the Meteor Grace clan. Did they have anything to do with the assault upon my household here?
Well, Unending Veil sent the assassin to attack Empty Falcon. I can only presume that he was also responsible for the assassins who attacked this household.
How interesting. How interesting. And there may be more than one clan involved. Zhongling Jun told me that there was a lady assassin.
Hmm,
That
That's
seems like
part-
a good place for me to actually cut here,
Okay.
because it gives us a chance to do that sort of bleed over a lady assassin to Yingling outside this paper shop, paper maker's place. And do you case the joint? Do you go in? What are you going to do?
Oh, I definitely think I should case the joint. That seems like a wise move.
Absolutely. And it is no problem for you to slip through doors, through windows, things
It's
like
true.
that. This place is not secured. And you will see that there are some people in back. There are great troughs of water and paper pulp where they've got sticks and they're beating the paper pulp down, and they're rolling that out, and they've got dryers to do that, and they've got hangers. So we've got this massive back garden with all of these hanging pieces of paper like curtains everywhere there, and you can easily wind your way through them. And you will see that it looks like an ordinary paper place. There is a striking young woman sort of working at the front, seated there, and she's cutting and preparing and folding papers into bundles for people. But it's late in the day, so there's probably nothing in the way of customers. It's all work at this point.
And I was told that one of Sunset's sisters who run the place saw a friend with an unusual bell.
Well, she said that one of her friends knows a person who runs this place who had an unusual bell.
I see. Okay.
How do you
Well,
want to
if
play
she's
this?
out here working, then she has the bell. Perhaps she has left it inside somewhere. Or is there some place where she stores her items?
Let's have you roll study.
Yes. I'll try to study this place. See if I can find my bell. I'm trying very much to be aware and wise here. So I will try to roll. And I've rolled well with water. I rolled a 10 plus 2 is a 12.
Look at you, all rolling well here.
What is that about?
What is your first question or declaration?
Where is my bell?
It is in a little pouch at her side. She has kept it with her. You probably we'll see this because it'll be at one moment when she kind of stops and looks around, and we see her open the pouch, and we see her take the bell out, and she kind of looks at it fondly, and she maybe looks off in the distance and maybe smiles, and then she puts the bell back away very carefully so no one sees it.
I think I'll reveal a detail which is very obvious, but I just want to kind of stick a tail on the donkey.
Sure.
There's a certain way that she moves that is familiar, and her silhouette against the papers he recognizes, and this is the woman who took his bell, not just the person who has the bell. This is
Absolutely.
the sister who took it.
You can also tell by the fact that when one of the servants in the back comes to speak to her, it takes her a moment to hear because she cannot hear out of her left ear.
I wait until she is alone, and I approach from the left so that, it'll be a little bit of a surprise.
Okay. And you step into her field of vision, or how do you do this? Do you
I
touch
step
her?
into her field of vision, but I want to get close enough to where I could touch her if need be, and I say,
Okay. You are very close before she realizes you're there, and she's good enough that she doesn't start, and that may be even more of a dead giveaway. And she'll say, "Good sir, how can I help you?"
You know, Hoppin' Crow said that you would be here, that you were the one who took my bell. What were you doing in the house last night?
Let's have your hearts and minds.
Okay,
I think you're putting the pressure here.
All right, let's see. I think just because the name of the element, I'm rolling with fire. Oof, that is a 7.
I think that we will get a moment there where she's kind of looking at you, and in a moment that she has flipped back and bounded into that backyard with you close at her heels and moving then between the papers, and you hear her ring that bell. And she says, "I'll answer you if you can take this from me."
That's awesome.
And she is, I mean, imagine that there are the great sheets that are down, curtains of all colors through here. The wind kind of carries it, and she is moving behind them, moving through. She rings the bell and then clearly moves.
Yeah, that is great. What Yingling does is he is going to try to not play this game the same way as before, because he did not succeed.
That's true.
You see him loosen all the clappers on his bells with one big gesture, and then he leaps up on top of the things that are holding these papers so they can look down and see where she is.
Absolutely. I think this is still a duel.
Absolutely.
So let's have you roll.
All right, rolling with my style element. Here we go. Snake eyes.
Oh, snake eyes.
I'm the worst at my job.
I think you will get up there and you see her there, and you can see her move, and we see you leap down and you grab her. And it's at that moment we realize it's one of those paper mache mannequins, like she's done the paper thing, and you kind of grab onto it and pull it away, and you'll hear that laughter, and she says, too slow. I'll tell you this. I'm going to keep your bell. And I'll tell you, I was merely watching last night. And then you kind of hear the sound of her voice getting a little farther away.
Oh, man. I failed again. I'm going to return to Lady Twilight Summer's place and at least try to keep her safe from what,
Absolutely. I think that we see you come out. You've got the papers kind of stuck to you from this, and Miss Fang is there. Did that go well?
No.
Well, we should probably get you cleaned up before we go back to Lady Twilight.
You're right. Yes, it would be appropriate.
And as you walk, she'll kind of pick the bits of paper off of you.
She bested me again.
Then let's bring you into the scene with Master Zhang and Lady Twilight, I think.
Oh, 3 PCs in the same scene?
I know.
gosh.
One of the servants comes to where the two of you are. Lady Twilight.
Yes.
Master Jingling has returned.
Oh, excellent. Please bring him in.
And,
You don't mind, do you, Master? I believe you are known to him.
Of course not. I was planning to seek him out in any event.
Excellent.
And you and Miss Feng will be brought in. You see Master Zheng there.
Master Zhang, how fortunate. I had planned on trying to find you because Lady Twilight Summer wanted stout, watchful folk who could keep her safe and watch over her house. And here you are.
Yes, I'm afraid that she and her family are in danger and we must protect her.
I agree. Absolutely agree.
I'm so glad you both agree. What is your plan, gentlemen, if you are in such strong agreement with each other?
I think an ending veil is the key. Perhaps together, Jingling and I may be a match for him.
Perhaps. But where will that leave us? You'll perhaps be on the trail of the book and perhaps take some measure of revenge. Is my uncle with Unending Veil?
I can't say. It seems unlikely. If Unending Veil was the one who kidnapped your uncle, why would they attack the compound? Or if it was someone else who attacked the compound, then who?
If what you say about my uncle is true, that he was some sort of Zhongwu warrior, then perhaps he fled on his own.
Then where is he? Why would he not have? Why would he have been so unchivalrous as to leave your mother undefended?
Perhaps Auntie was already dead when he ran. I don't know. There's too many mysteries here. Oh, if only I were some sort of great Zhongwu heroine who could sail through the night and find answers to these questions, but...
Yes, but we must not waste our energy on impossibilities.
No, not at all, Master. Not in the slightest.
I've heard their lives are very lonely.
You do not find them great heroes of romance, Master?
I find them interesting. But I prefer the here and now. I prefer people who of good station, who are able to hold up when their family needs them. That's what I prefer.
Well, I may perhaps have no station to speak of, but I will stand by you.
That is good, gentlemen. I feel that you will probably need more allies, but I'm sure that once your purpose has become so firm that no doubt such allies as you require shall be provided to you. Through the heavenly will.
Yes.
Or do I tread too close to blasphemy there, Master?
No, I am sure that fate works in mysterious ways. And if it is our fate to overcome this enemy, then help will be provided to us.
That's exactly what I thought.
I think this is actually a perfect place for us to stop, like set up to bring Jim in. Like, We've spoken about allies, the needs. We've got several things on the table that are clear to move to. Jingling has been bested by the bell stealing.
Can we name that NPC, by the way?
Absolutely. Do you have a name, or do you want me to give her a name?
Wait, did we give her a name? That was Red Marsh daughter, right?
Yes, that's right. Red Marsh daughter.
Oh, okay. There we go. Hey, where are we keeping NPCs? Because I see the factions thing, and it's still kind of empty.
Yeah, I should put that in. I will. What I'll do between now and next time is I will create an NPC page. I'll put the NPCs that we've got, and I'll put the pictures that we've got, and we'll get those set up for next week. Does that seem cool?
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for pointing that out. End of session. I think that we're just going to give you the flat 3 for the moment, since I think we hit on a lot of different entanglement points there, and that seems reasonable to me. I appreciate you being willing to pause here so we can bring Jim in. Hopefully, I'm sure that he had plans and forgot about it, or is not feeling well.
I had to check 3 times to make sure we were
okay. Yeah.
Too, so.
Well, and honestly, it was Sunday that Stephen was like, "We're playing on Wednesday," and I was like, "That is right. That is the first. We are there." These holidays have been crazy. So, thank you all very much. We'll give you the 3. We'll get the NPCs up for next week, and we will take up from this point, and maybe we'll figure out a love letter for Jim to figure out what he's been doing in the meantime as well. So I'm going to stop streaming then.